Today I want to talk about some of the awesome hacks that I have for busy moms who need to improve upon their productivity. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So stay tuned for some awesome hacks. So today I want to dive into a topic that is so essential as coffee in the morning, and that is time management. Ever since becoming a mama of two tiny humans who are now bigger toddlers, I have really had to evaluate what my time management looks like to be as productive as possible. My husband and I own our own business. We are full-time realtors down here in Southwest Florida. And well, I am also a full-time mama, of course. So today I want to share some of the hacks that have worked really well for me, not just to survive, but to thrive as a working mother. So let's tackle those together. So tip number one is to really prioritize like a procrastinator with a deadline. All right, let's talk with some priorities because trust me, I have mastered the art of procrastination. Something that I want you to do is start your day by asking what is absolutely, positively, can't wait for another second, has to get done today. And that's going to be your North Star for the day, mama. I saw this great acronym and I believe it was from 15 Habits of Highly Effective People. Well, I don't know if it's an acronym, but it's 4 words that start with a D. So write down these 4 words. It's do, delegate, defer, and dump. So really think about these words for the task that you have and evaluate what really has to be done. What can you delegate to others and what can you defer until later? And then at the end of that, what really could be dumped because it's not going to be something that is super essential for your business ever you are trying to get done for the day. So I like to think of some of my examples. So do are, those things that you have to do for the day. So for me, a lot of those things are like, I have to answer emails. I have to, do so many posts for social media marketing, just like get done today, have to do type of things. So that second one is to delegate. So I have really been able to lately try to take some of the things that are on my list of things to do and try to delegate it to other people. So here's a great example. My videos that I have made, there is an app called Upwork, or you could do Fiverr and hire people out for a very reasonable price to just help with some of those things. The editing of some of these videos take me a very long time. So being able to have somebody help with that just leaves me time to do, so many other things. So that's the delegate. Defer is just something that you are just going to put aside and let it wait until later. You still want to get those things done, but it's okay that they're not at the top of your priority list. And then those things that are left on that list that really could be dumped and you really don't need to add to your plate. Like if in a year, it's really not going to make a difference if you did that item or not, then I would say just dump it, make your life easier. So that is tip number 1, is to really prioritize your tasks. All right, so tip number 2 for just really trying to be as productive as possible is to really try and batch it like a pro. So what I mean by batching is, what are those things on your list of things that need to be done that you can really batch together? So for example, if I need to answer all of my emails, then I actually put it together like as blocking, and I say, okay, this is my time set aside for answering all of my emails, and those are usually kind of a priority at the beginning of the day. So another task that I might have is organizing all of my marketing materials. Like let's say I'm going to run over to Canva and make a couple of flyers for, properties that have been under contract or just listed, things like that. I'm going to spend all of my time in Canva at that point. Another thing that I like to do when I'm batching and I'm in a specific batch of work to do is I have this focus timer on my phone and I set a timer for maybe 10 minutes and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on Canva and getting all of those things done. It's just so much easier to really look at everything that you have and batch it together because it just makes sense to put all of those things together and you will find yourself being more and more productive. Okay, so tip number 3, this is something that has been a little bit difficult for me. So tip number 3 is to be able to say no like a boss. So saying no can be your secret weapon. I know when we get started in something, maybe like a new job or what have you, it's really easy for when people are coming up to you and asking you to do tasks, or maybe it might be like a collaboration or something like that, that just sounds really good. If it is not going to fit your overall needs and goals of your business, then you really have to think about it and be able to say no. I really do. I like to dip into a bunch of different things. That's really been something that I've always done since I was little. But being able to say no is going to really be able to help you keep focused and be productive on whatever it is that is most important to you within your goals. And that brings up another point, and that is making sure that you have goals in mind, and it's something that you might want to visit every day. Also have monthly goals and yearly goals as well, but you need to know what it is that you are trying to accomplish, and then it's going to make sense with those certain things that you can say yes to and say no to. So don't be afraid to just stand up and say no if it doesn't fit. Tip number 4 goes back to those 4 Ds, and the second D, remember I said, was to delegate. This is something that I have had a lot of trouble doing, because if you're anything like me, then you just feel like all of those tasks that you have to get done, you just know in your mind that you can do it better. But I have always been that way, and sometimes you have to let go, because it's really going to help you to be able to take things off your plate and delegate them to other people. So if it is something that is, within your personal family, more mom life, then delegating to family and friends to just help you out, with the kids or with certain things that need to be done with the kids, just don't be afraid to push it off and lighten up your load, because really sharing is caring. As far as business tasks go for delegating, so I think I mentioned this before, but something that I have started to do is take up, some of my tasks to Upwork or Fiverr to get some things done, because I could pump out a ton of social media content, videos, and all of that, but the editing part of it really does take a while. And so I've realized that if I can put that on another plate, then I can get so much more accomplished. Another thing that you could delegate out is to virtual assistants. They are very reasonable if that's something that you feel like you could hand your tasks off to, like a virtual assistant, and just say, hey, I need this, and this done, and then they can get it done for you. And then guess what? You're checking those things off of the box, of things that you can get done because somebody else is helping you to take care of it. Another thing that is super helpful is something like ChatGPT, and I would imagine that most of you are familiar with it. Now, this has been pretty helpful for me in my business. You just have to be careful though with, if you're going in and trying to use it for research or something like that, you really need to go check your facts when it comes to, asking for up-to-date research. I believe that ChatGPT is only kind of verified up to maybe 2021 or 2022 facts go, but using that as kind of like a virtual assistant is going to take so much off your plate. It has been amazing for me. And that is one of the many different types of, tech savvy app type of things that could really be helpful to you. Like if you could have something that is working as a virtual assistant for you that is actually for free. So it's ChatGPT AI, and you can go get that on your computer or on your phone, download it, make an account, and just start letting it help you with all of your tasks. So tip number 4 is to delegate like the queen bee that you are. Tip number 5. This is something that I have been doing for a while, and it has worked really well for me. And that is master time blocking like a legend. So what do I mean with time blocking? So I would love to show you a whole new video on how I worked time blocking into my schedule on my Google Calendar, and that's just what I use. It's got very pretty little labels, and you can give it all different color codes. So before my girls, they're 3 and 5, and before they were in school full time, they were home with me while I was working. So I had time blocks on my Google Calendar. Like for example, in the morning, it might say my morning time, morning ritual, check out my morning routine video as well. for some hot tips on creating a good morning routine while we're talking about it. But I would then have a specific block that says like morning time to start to get the girls going, breakfast, all of that. And then I would have another time block that says morning work time / like house cleaning type of thing. So that's a time that I would use to try to get some tasks done while I let them color, do some kind of activity, but also I'm going to use this as a time to kind of clean the house as well or get some things done because I know that it's just not a dedicated work time. Then I would block off and have for lunch. And then in the afternoon, I would have a nice span of time that I call nap time hustle. And I would try to get as much done as I could while they were napping. Although I did want to just take a nap, but using that time was like the best work time. So all of my tasks that I had to get done, I would put in there. So now that the girls are at school full time, I still use my time blocking and it really helps me to just visualize when I'm going to do these things. And then if I wanted to use the timer to time certain tasks so that I make sure that I am not getting lost in, like, let's say if I am doing something in social media or marketing, something like that, and I'm just like scrolling or something like that, that timer is really going to help me with making sure that I keep my time blocking for that specific task. So time blocking is something that might change your life. So I would highly recommend tip number 5, and that is time blocking. Tip number 6 for you is to start to think about time differently. Now, this could go into a whole discussion on mindset work, which is also another thing that I really pride myself in working on because I have to. But if you start to think about time differently, then it's just going to change the whole trajectory of your productivity. So I have thought in the past, and I know people are guilty of this, of just thinking about time like, oh my gosh, I will never have time to get all of this done. So if you have that kind of mentality set in your head, then your mind is just going to believe that that's the way things are. If you change it to, I have plenty of time to get all of these things done, and I will get all of these things done, then time in your mind and on your calendar will change for the better for your productivity. So just a quick little tip, it's more of a mindset tip, but tip number 6 is to just really think in your mind about time in a different way. So I will also do another video on mindset because, oh my gosh, it has changed my life. But this is a part of tip number 6, and that is to just think about time differently. My last tip for this video, tip number 7, and this is my favorite because it is also so important, and that is to say yes to self-care. Like a queen, like the queen that you are. If you are not in the right headspace, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you are not doing those things to really alleviate any kind of stress, because let's be real, being a working mom, or just even a stay-at-home mom, or just a working woman in general, it's hard on the soul. You know what I'm saying? So make time in your schedule, in your week, to do some kind of self-care. So some of the examples of the self-care that I like to practice on a daily basis are some type of meditation. I do a lot of gratitude journaling. Those are just things to like get my day started on the right foot. But also, even if, I would consider self-care like taking a really long hot shower. It's self-care. And then maybe afterwards you're gonna do a mask or something to treat yourself with skincare or something like that. Go get your nails done. Like if you are just feeling like you need to take a deep breath and you really need to you are overwhelmed and you need to fix the overwhelm, I should say, then make time for self-care in your schedule. Go get your nails done, go to the spa, book yourself a massage. If you feel like you don't have the funds for that, do it at home. Like make a spa in the freaking bathtub for yourself, whatever it may be. Just take time for yourself, because if you are not where you need to be in your headspace, then none of these productivity hacks are even going to do anything for you, because you're just not there. You will be more productive if you make self-care a priority. Those are my 7 tips for productivity as a very busy woman, working mom, all of the things. I probably will include maybe some more, maybe a part 2 on this, because there's just so many little things that I realize I think about that, I've added to my schedule to just really help with productivity and get more things done. There are only so many hours in the day, and if we take advantage of all of those hours, then we are going to be more successful and more productive. And that is the goal of being a freaking mom boss. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. And if you found something useful in it, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment below what your favorite time-saving hack is, or if you have any to add to share with this community, then that would be awesome. So stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you next time.